Welcome everyone, Christine here to talk about the absurdity of Khorne and Skarbrand in Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires, and hopefully to show you a style of gameplay that I certainly hope Creative Assembly is going to move away from with their next DLC. So what I'm going to showcase here is how Skarbrand plays and how Khorne plays, and those are two different things. Skarbrand is well known among the community for having two things, a ridiculous amount of blood host and a ridiculous amount of movement range after winning a battle and raising settlements. But here's the thing with regards to that. Yes, Khorne, with regards to Skull Throne, which is a global ability that all Khorne, even the minor ones, have, I believe, can get some movement range after raising settlements, but it is not necessarily inherent to Khorne as a race. It is inherent to Skarbrand. Because he gets 15% movement range after raising a settlement, he replenishes in foreign territory as a faction effect. And the massive blood hosts that he's known for are also tied to his special skill line. So the race is intrinsically tied to how Skarbrand is designed. But we're going to get two more legendary Lords of Khorne who are going to have to play their campaigns without that. And the problem is, if you look at Khorne, they have bad income, they require skulls to take settlements, and so they can't have as many settlements as anyone else. And if you take away that movement range, the whole race crumbles down very, very quickly. Now, for the purposes of this video, I am playing on Legendary very hard with AI stats modifier set to max for one battle I'll show here. I'm using auto-resolve mods to just save my time. And for the record though, in this campaign, if you're playing as Skarbrand, you can win all of these battles with pretty much no casualties or minimal casualties, as opposed to, oh, I auto-resolve this battle, I lose 76 men. Khorne may not care from where the blood flows, but you actually do if you're playing as Skarbrand. So what we want to do here is we want to use the Skull Throne very, very quickly. Actually, we want to start training, start getting that building again. And we want to get all the mobility effects for Skarbrand and his hero. The reason I moved Skarbrand closer to the enemy army initially is you actually get more movement range with Skarbrand's army if you do so. Research-wise, all your research also requires skulls, so you're spending skulls. But again, only Skarbrand has all the movement range to make it work. So if CA wants to keep Skarbrand as he is, fair enough. But that means they have to take away some of these mechanics and make them exclusive to him. And Skulltaker and whoever else they're going to add, Arbadal, the undefeated people are saying, they're going to have to perform different. You do have Eternal War as a mechanic. And this one, I am going to fight. Highest difficulty, and let me show you how Skarbrand fights in battle. Alright, so here on the battlefield, initially I would have shown the loading screen, but screw that. I'd rather start again. So we have the enemy deployed there, but my entire army, pointless. The entire enemy army, meat. So here's the thing that's so broken about Skarbrand and about his faction, if you will. When you're playing Skarbrand, the important factor to understand is that units have collision damage when they're charging. So one of the things you can do if you are playing Skarbrand, I'm just going to summon some demons over here because I really don't care. But one of the important things to understand here, the actual damage on impact is insignificant. What is important, and you'll actually take more damage if you try and, you know, stand still and fight the battle, quote unquote, you know, properly. With Skarbrand, he'll take more damage through that particular process, but he'll take substantially like you can see that he got the collision. So collision is happening when you start the charge animation. Okay, like so. So we just start. And because Skarbrand has so much mass, he can't be stopped. So he's gonna do a lot of damage in the process to some of these units. You can see that he's like, it's not the bloodletters that I summoned that did so much damage. It is literally Scarbrand. Now, he did do a decent amount of damage over there to that particular entity. But yeah, these guys are finished. Highest difficulty, I might add. So once he starts that animation, it's all over for these guys. You don't even want to, like you want a big army to do this, ideally, because if you do this with just a few units like this, chances are Skarbrand may not be able to do it in a line. But let's consider these green skins over here. They've given us a perfect opportunity to showcase this. So we start charging over there. Not quite as much collision damage as we would have wanted. And then we turn around. Right, or just wait. And now we turn around. I believe it's like something like 60 damage or something along those lines that he's doing per second or something along those lines. With regards to charge. And the AI just doesn't know how to deal with that, by the way. With any of this. You can see my army is perfectly safe. Scarbrand's, yeah, he's taken some damage. But so has the enemy army. Suffice to say, this is not the best kind of gameplay in the world. Because you do this continuously. This is actually much better than it used to be, because at least here they're kind of positioning in such a way that they're making it tricky for me. Not tricky enough, but still. Who needs an army? When you can pull this shit off. Now, it is kind of important in this particular battle to ensure that none of these guys... Okay. Damn, they're tricky bastards. It is important to ensure none of these guys actually get away. That is easy enough. So you gotta chase them down in a battle like this, where you're fighting outside the settlement. The reason for that, by the way, like, yeah, at this point I don't care. So the reason for that is you want to ensure all these units are eliminated as much as possible. And yeah, you chase them down. Like, you don't need to kill every single entity in a unit, but you do need to ensure that as many of them are killed as possible. I think below 10 you're guaranteed that these guys are going to be eliminated. That's it. Close victory. So that's one. And unfortunately one of these guys did get away, I guess one of the archer units. And that is a bit unfortunate, but I can work with that. No problem. You just come over here and we raise the settlement. We summon a blood host, get a bit of replenishment, replenish his movement range, level him up. I'd recommend getting Inspiring Presence just for the experience of the units. It's going to be useful. And now we move him in force march stance, but we don't consume all of the movement that he has. As long as you have like 1%, that is sufficient. So let me just get some, well, some Cast Furies of Khorne. Disband almost all of them, but not all of them. I want to keep the Lord, because the amount of bullshit that's about to happen is biblical. Now, I could potentially have reached Numas, depends on things, but Cetra has certainly taken a bit of damage over there. So what are we going to do there? Well, that Blood Host Lord is just going to retake that settlement we raised, and we're going to sell it to the vampires or to the greenskins. Now, the reason you want to do this... Now, with Skarbrand, we just bring him over here. We declare war on Cetra. And we raise the settlement to the ground. We summon a Blood Host. Look at our boy go. Now, I don't have enough movement range over here. Maybe. You start realizing... Yeah, that was not necessarily the best way of using that, but we can make it work. We just need 1%. Because if you expand all of the movement range, you won't be able to switch to the stance you want. So we colonize this, or we don't, rather. We sell this to the greenskins. We get some money in return. We dismiss that Blood Host because we don't need it anymore. Got a non-aggression pact to Quake, why not? Make sure melee defense is actually the useful thing over here and nothing else, really. Nothing else. That one gets disbanded, that one gets disbanded. There's no point in holding on to the Blood Host, by the way. Yeah, get those Marauders of Khorne, get rid of this structure because it served its purpose. This one literally exists to give me Numas back. Who exactly I'll sell it to, that is a different discussion. But once you unlock Skarbrand's special skill line, GG, well played, more or less. It's over. Now, beyond the fact that this is ridiculous, only Skarbrand can pull this off. Only he. No one else can do this in a campaign. None of the other Lords of Khorne. Like, there are mods that allow you to play... okay, so yeah, non-colonization, I forgot that's an actual freaking problem with Numas. So we go over here. And you want to be right next to a settlement before you declare war. Hopefully I won't lose that particular advantage. Move them there. Get Chaos Warriors of Khorne right there. Just don't spend it all. We need the trophy haul for the legendary hero. dismiss all of this. We'll sell that to Manfred, make him work for us. Now, I only have 3 turns left of that. The reason I got the Chaos Furies is just like being able to deal with enemy range units if they're a problem. But they're not really. Like, as I said, like one Skarbrand. Sieges can be a problem. But you got freaking Chaos Warriors of Khorne and Bloodletters. Sieges are not a fucking problem. Even if you have to fight a siege here and there manually, I'll tell you point blank, sieges are not a fucking issue. Like, flat out, they're not an issue. I won't even get a Blood Host over here. Though you may want to do so for the sake of replenishment. So, okay, we want to make sure that we're attacking. Like, you constantly micromanage every movement that he's doing in both battle and campaign gets tedious really quickly, by the way. Over here, I'm just going to set the battle difficulty to easy just for auto-resolve. It affects AI behavior, but also affects auto-resolve. And that's on top of the mods. Like, this is the thing about Skarbrand. You have to fight these battles manually, because otherwise, if you don't fight these battles manually, you will take a ton of casualties. That's kind of the issue, really, with all of this. Like, you are forced to engage in this, otherwise you're screwed. Now, it does change some AI behavior, though, so it's not exactly great, but enjoy the bullshit. Like, okay, here's an idea. There is a particular point. I won't be able to reach it, unfortunately. Okay, let's see. No. Okay, 1%. I don't want to actually... I actually don't want to... to attack the Black Pyramid of Nagash right there. That particular turn. Not because I couldn't, but rather because if I did, it would not necessarily give me what I want. So let's just declare war on this. Oh, well, what if you lose your capital? Okay, once I got a full stack with Skarbrand, I could not give a shit about my capital. In all seriousness. Although that will give me a bit of time to replenish. So get the missile resistance over here. He took a bit too much damage. Get that trophy rack. Get that hero. Yeah, pick that up. We'll use this opportunity to get Camry. Now, siege tactics just, yeah, can be a bit tricky, but the thing about sieges when you're the attacker is you have a ton of flexibility in deciding how you're going to approach a particular situation. Also, important note, like, don't fight that quest battle unless you want a really punishing one initially. Particular point, by the way. Should I leave the Black Pyramid of Nagash? Like, okay, fun fact. There is this gap over here. Like, you literally want to sometimes be pixel perfect with regards to all of this, because if you're not, you'll end up getting, you know, obliterated and all that kind of stuff. So it's not, so it is in your interest to get this right. Like, or this particular pyramid, you see that gate right there? That's where I want him to, to move. So I'm gonna have to literally move the camera. Ignore that for a moment. Move the camera a bit. We're gonna sell that to. We need a bit of money though first. Okay, so we need to move him right there. Come on. Let's try and approach it from this direction. I know it can be done. Okay, turn the camera around. Now we need at least 1%. Damn it. There we go. We'll use that. Not perfect. Could have been better. There is a point in this corner that would work for our purposes, but I can't move enough to that corner. Yeah. Trust me, this is as fun as I'm making it out to be. Which is to say, not fucking all. Okay, we need more skulls, so skulls for the skull throne, blood for the blood god, all that piece of crap. But yeah. Let's get some skulls. Yeah, that's the reason I didn't want to do it like that. But hey, can't be picky sometimes. And what's interesting is, like, when you raise these kind of settlements, sometimes... Should I sell it? Yeah, let's sell it to Manfred as well. Because we need the money. Our diplomacy at its finest peak, gentlemen. Oh, jeez. Alright, we can declare war on Aracos, by the way. Because he's gonna wipe them out. Maybe get a bit of money for that. And it doesn't matter which faction controls this territory, by the way. All that you really care about is that some faction that you're neutral with controls this territory. Everything else is fluff, pointless, meaningless, bullshit. That is it. I could also take down the Pulse of Despair, by the way. Now, the hardest battle over here would either be the quest battle if I did it, or the Black Pyramid of Nagash. I think the quest battle is actually harder. But here's the thing, like, yeah, this is where you pull out bullshit against AI, because you know, as a player, you know that they're gonna move away, right? That they're going to do that. So we need more skulls. Now, interesting tidbit about this settlement. Rapunzel's capital. There is possibly, I emphasize the possibility of it. I can kind of see it. I need to be precise. Jeez, this is stupid. But it's not good enough. It is genuinely not good enough. But yeah, because like I need to be on the road, actually. But at the same time, the reason this kind of stuff is actually important, let me explain. If I switch to encamp stance or attack stance, I will not be able to move at all, right? So I need to be exactly on top of the settlement in order to actually pull this shit off. Now, can I get it done is the real question. And some settlements, this is why it's gonna matter, some settlements have this weird design associated with them, in as much that, let's see, so for instance over here, let's say we attack this. As I said, I can't do it. And that's your problem. Because the actual collision of the settlement is bigger than that, than what it's showing there. I don't care in this case, but that's the reason I was trying to find that gap. I could have attacked in that gap, but it wouldn't have taken me far enough as I wanted. One of the problems in the Skarbrand campaign is actually getting your secondary hero to get into position, or a third hero. That is not a joke. You actually have to struggle to get these guys into the right position. So you're not getting screwed over by that. So we're going to have Forik taking that settlement. Maybe he'll declare war on the Greenskins. If he declares war on the Greenskins, that is fantastic, gentlemen. I don't care. That is actually freaking fantastic. Let's get the money. Oh, also, if I were to chase down the entire garrison there, they would be wiped out. So, yeah, who gives a shit? So let's summon the Blood Toast. I don't think I have enough movement range, but I can get it. The bullshit continues. Oh, I lost. Like, it would have been important against the Tomb Kings because they have some flying units. It ain't important over here. Alright. As long as I got those skulls, I'm golden. And you just keep doing this, by the way. You never stop doing this in a Skarbrand campaign. Like, if you stop doing this, you're not playing a Skarbrand campaign properly, quotation marks. So yeah, let's put this down here. We could use some cav. Right there. So this, one of these armies is going to deal with Rapunzel's last... I think this is the stronger one. Because it's got that artillery. Will the hero make it in time to his sheaf? I can't even get the regiment's renown I'm unlocking because I need to stop and acquire a territory if I want them. Let's get the Blood Feast. So which one is important? Spell resistance, melee attack. Well, funnily enough, well, for the units, yeah, let's go Locus of Fury. Though you could also go for melee attack still. Okay, let's set the battle difficulty high. Like, you only need to fight the battles really manually, initially necessarily. But thing is, once you encounter legendary lords that have multiple stacks, the longer the campaign lasts, and by the way, it's lasted a decent amount of time here. The longer the campaign lasts, the more you're incentivized to pull off these bullshit tactics, because Skarbrand can solo any army on his own if you send him there, but it's the question of getting him there as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I don't know where Archon has gone to. Probably butchering the dwarves or some bullshit like that. Yeah, it's always tricky with bridges, by the way. Now, for dwarf settlements, I think it's pretty clear, but you still need to do a bit, just a bit of micromanagement. Just a bit, just a bit. Just a bit. Now, so Archon went for that. The dwarves aren't even in their capital. I should be able to, yeah. Yeah, you do this again and again and again. Alright. I think you guys have seen enough. And just for a record, this is not even the most optimal path. In point of fact, I think going south is the suboptimal path. So all that I've shown here is actually even bullshit for Skarbrand in the sense that you don't want to do this necessarily. You want to go north. You want to get Galbraith, get into the Empire, and then blow up the Empire in a single turn. I think it took me 3 turns when I last played them seriously to take down the Empire. Something along those lines. And it's just like, what Empire? There was an Empire here? It doesn't exist anymore. That's for damn certain. And that's the kind of situation you have as a player with Skarbrand. Now, movement range and pixel perfect movement on the campaign and charging bullshit aside, all of these are Skarbrand exclusive things. The things that are for Khorne are the Skull Throne, the occupation of territory, the piss poor economy. So here's the question for all of you, having witnessed this. How do you think Creative Assembly should handle Khorne going forward? Do you think that all Legendary Lords should be like this? Do you think they should take out the mechanic, that Legendary Lords should just have the Khorne racial mechanics and not Skarbrand special stuff? Keeping in mind the lack of money, lack of, diversity. Because the problem is, it's not easy to occupy territories. So you might say, oh, but, it's nothing wrong to play a faction with few territories. That's not the problem. The problem is that extra territory is hero capacity. Extra territory is unit diversity, because you can't maintain all the unit recruitment buildings in a single region, in a single province. Even, like, I could possibly in this one situation here if I got this tier 5, but realistically I'd want multiple settlements, right? Another problem I have with this, and I just wish to emphasize, you can see this army here. This is the quintessential Skarbrand army. A couple of Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axemen and everything. One hero of each type that you can recruit early on. The Legendary Hero, once you acquire that. If you give a shit about that. And yeah, everything else. Just, yeah, Chaos Warriors. You might get Chaos Warriors with Halberds if you can get the settlement over here to a higher enough level to be able to pick these up. These are important for the quest battle because there's some really large entities, and regular Chaos Warriors are going to struggle against Bloodthirsters. Or you can get Holy Regiments of Renown at one point, put them in Skarbrand's army, and just easily steamroll through the entire quest battle. This is why Skarbrand's campaign is absurd. So, let me know what you guys think about what the future of Skarbrand and Khorne should be. Just so you know, Creative Assembly is paying attention from what they've stated on forums, YouTube channels. I'm not sure if they read the comments section of YouTube channels, though I imagine to some degree they do. Maybe not on mine, though. Legendary War and all that. Stay tuned.